Hello, and welcome to ZAPTEST, the Game Changer presentation. My name is Alex Chernik. I'm CEO of ZAPTEST, and I will be hosting the presentation today. In this presentation, we're going to be talking about ZAPTEST overview. We'll talk about the company history and the technology. We'll talk about the reality and challenges that we see on the market and how ZAPTEST addresses them. And of course, we're gonna show you the ZAPTEST demo, how it's work, and we'll talk about onboarding, how you can use ZAPTEST solution. I want to start with a few words about ZAPTEST and our history. We've been in a business over 20 years. We started as an advanced implementation partner of Mercury. Me and my team, we've been involved in the most mission-critical implementations of Mercury products worldwide. And we've been working close with the Mercury product marketing on advising them on how better to enhance back once upon a time leading testing technologies according to the in-field implementation. Now, with that relationship, we grandfathered to Hewlett-Packard partnership, and HP Enterprise actually influenced us to develop new generation object recognition engine, which is a core technology of ZAPTEST today. Back in those days, we came out of the market with ZAPFix add-in for once upon a time famous quick test professional. Well, today we position on the market as a full stack cross-platform testing and RPA solution for mobile, Windows, Linux, and Mac. I'm personally a member of Forbes Technology Council. I represent testing for Forbes. And I'm proud to say that ZAPTEST is a member of Gartner Tech CEO Framework. We work based on the Gartner template, and we work close with the Gartner analysts. And we're also famous for our unlimited licensing model, which I'll explain later in my presentation. We're not a typical tool company. We're digital transformation leaders. With us, our customers are able to automate any application. They can meet any development schedule, and anyone in their organizations can use ZAPTEST. We see many realities and challenges in the market. There are so many, and we all, of course, know what we're dealing with on a daily basis. I've picked only a few based on my conversations with executives and engineers. One of the realities in the trend today, it's an open source test automation solutions. Many organizations adopted open source tools and they know cost, it's a great. The only challenge is the fact that it has limited functionality. Now we all know that open source solution lacking some functionality in the way how they can do automation. It's a labor intensive and require many man hours and therefore also requires higher maintenance. Another reality that we see on the market, it's a cross-platform and cross-application processes. Today, basically, any software process has to be executed in any environment. Either it's going to be cross-application and cross-operating systems. And the challenge that's come with that, it's a lack of technological reach. Open source or many commercial solutions on the market simply cannot achieve particular testing or automation goals. And last but not least, reality, what we see on the market, it's a software usability. We all being software consumers used to the fact that it has to work as is and being implemented at the first attempt. Though we have no time for advanced tool learning, and therefore many functionalities that are available in the particular automation solutions haven't been utilized. Now, considering this realities and challenges, I want to talk about ZAPTEST and how we're addressing it. Now, within the ZAPTEST software itself, we focus on the tactical and strategic aspects of automation. From tactical perspective, we're able to perform cross-platform automation. It requires only one script of ZAPTEST on the application under test and the particular test case that can be played back in any other platform on the same application, same test case. So therefore, you need to script only once and play it anywhere. But we're more than just a tactical automation solution. We have a technology that enables to auto-document test cases. Being a quality assurance professional, we know how much time it takes for us to write manual test cases. And with ZAPTEST, you don't need to do it no longer because you can, with a simple click, convert your automated script into full test document. Now, another technology that we have within ZAPTEST, it's a parallel device execution. With parallel device execution, MRUN, we can execute one script across all and any test environments that we need to do regression testing on. So that's definitely expedite the time to market with testing. To support parallel device execution, we provide FARM, which is a device host management system. FARM, it's a private cloud system that you can govern fully secured within your domain. And here you can manage all test environments that will be part of the automation and execution. Now, we're not just a UI automation solution. With ZAPTEST, you can also do API testing. And you can use ZAPTEST either for standalone API testing, or you can combine UI and API steps in the same script in order to validate dual integrity from client and the system perspective. And once you're done with the functional testing, you can segue to performance testing with ZAPTEST using the Load Studio. So again, you can use ZAPTEST Load as a standalone performance testing technology, or you can combine and leverage artifacts and scripts that you use for functional testing within your performance testing strategy. Now, we position as an RPA solution as well. So with ZAPTEST, organization not just may solve their test automation challenges, but also they can do RPA, robotic process automation, either standalone, or they can even combine some testing modules to apply it for execution in RPA as needed. As you can see, we one-stop enterprise software automation solution. Now, what makes us so different? Over a decade ago, we realized that functional automation technology that were available on the market, like in some object recognition concept and ability to automate across applications, across platform. So we came up with the new object engine called ZOE, ZAP Object Engine, that purely visual object recognition based. So with that, we can automate today any digital interface, including any software, and execute it cross-platform. We support 7 operating systems. With that approach, you'll be able to automate any permutation of your application under automation in any environment, but most importantly, you'll be able to tremendously reduce script development and maintenance. You will see demo today, and you will see how quick it is to use ZAPTEST for automation, but it's also require lesser to no maintenance whatsoever. A great solution for early automation. That particularly applies for Agile and DevOps testing. With ZAPTEST, you can shift left test automation by automating on the mockups. You can take any sketch, wireframe, or any graphical representation of UI to be and use it right at the design phase to build entire automation framework and therefore to have 100% automation time. Now that approach solves challenge of time to market with test automation readiness for our teams, where testers no longer need to follow the development schedule, but rather wait at the gate for developers to release the build. Another technology that we're also famous for, it's a video scenario technology, which improves team collaboration. Now, in the Center of Excellence frameworks, where the automation specialists work with the subject matter experts in collaboration, and especially today in work from home environment, we solve a few challenges here. Challenge number one, that subject matter experts don't need to create manual documentation that can be acting as a pseudocode for automation specialists. And the challenge number two, automation specialists be able easily to do automation on their own without asking questions. So video scenario technology, it's a desktop recording functionality which allows subject matter expert to leave also audio narration. It resides in the ZAP test as a video file and allows automation specialists to watch the video scenario in their own time, understand precisely using audio narration pointers what needs to be automated, and even convert video scenario to the full object repository to construct automation without accessing application life at that time. So with ZAPTEST, your organization will be given 3 different approaches for automation at any given time. You'll be able to automate using the live application, what you can do with majority of available solutions on the market. But you can also advance automation by automating on the mockups or work collaboratively with your team members using the video scenario approach. Today in the demo, we're going to show you all approaches that are available in ZAPTEST. Now, automation process with ZAPTEST looks like script document execute. Our motto is a fast automation. We strive to deliver automation in a fast possible time, and therefore we start with scripting right away. So we advise to create architecture which uses one script for one business process and therefore minimizes number of automation artifacts within the framework and therefore makes it less maintenance. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we require only one script. So you can create only one script for a particular operating system or platform, and that script meant to play back anywhere else as needed. So one script being finished, you can easily convert it to the document with simple click. So this way you don't need to invest extra man hours in the documentation, but most importantly, you have full stack documentation for compliance purposes and traceability correlated to requirements and defects. If we operate in agile mode, all that can be done during the development phase. So to use ZAPTEST and to automate the test procedure will take significantly lesser time than for developer to actually build software. And once we're ready for execution, we can take the release and run one script across all environments in parallel at once. So this way we deliver automation always just in time. Tool based on the multiple studios that support all the technologies that I mentioned earlier. One script, it's a core studio where we actually perform end user automation. The difference between us and other solutions on the market that we can literally automate any UI operation. So here we can automate precondition, post-condition of the procedure, but most importantly, we can easily and seamlessly automate cross-application. We provide modular architecture. So you can create collection of reusable automation modules that can be linked into one another with passing input and output data. So this architecture is very useful that allows you to be very flexible with the application change. You don't need to update any and many procedures, you just update the one automation module that can reflect the entire architecture. Anyone can use ZAPTEST despite of their skill set. We provide no-code, scriptless workflow, or alternatively, we can also provide scripted workflow based on a VB script or JavaScript. Depends on your technology skill set and your style for automation. You can choose either or combine both. Doc Studio provides documentation conversion. With Doc Studio, with simple click, you can convert your script into the common format, or you can integrate it into the most common ALMs that are available on the market. We support HPLM, Rally, Jira, TFS, and few others. MRun offers parallel execution of scripts on mobile and workstation devices. So once you're ready to do regression testing, you can group all and any test environments and run one script across all of them in parallel at once. So of course, it saves tons of time for formal regression testing. And in order to support parallel execution, as I mentioned earlier, we provide private cloud, Farm. Farm will be installed privately in your domain and fully secured. And through Farm, you'll be able to manage all the test infrastructure, and new developers can even deploy mobile application on external devices as needed. Now, you can proceed from UI testing to API testing with API Studio. So ZAPTEST can be used as a standalone API automation technology, and here you can also automate REST, SOAP, and Open APIs with full parameterization, but also you can combine UI and API steps together. And once you're done with the functional testing, you can move on to the performance testing in the Load Studio. So the same way, you can use ZAPTEST purely for performance testing, or you can leverage artifacts that you use for functional testing in a performance testing strategy. We provide a full analysis tool that allows you to perform the root cause analysis and validate your bottlenecks. And last but not least, you can use ZAPTEST for RPA, for robotic process automation. Within the RPA, you can automate fully all back office operation. And the benefits of using ZAPTEST for RPA is the fact that you don't need to instrument application in the chain. So it's a seamless automation across all and any applications. And another benefit that you can leverage some of the test artifacts into the RPA execution as they apply. So many organizations and the testing teams become a center of excellence, offering their automation services within their organizations. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're part of the Gartner Tech CEO framework. We follow the Gartner guidelines, and one of the main initiatives in the industry is a digital transformation and hyper-automation. Gartner say that anything that can be automated within the enterprise should be automated. And this spectrum shows that ZAPTEST it's a perfect ultimate solution for complete automation from task automation phase to the business operation creation. You'll be able to mature your automation practices with ZAPTEST. Now, we claim to be game changers. Between the technology and the way we deliver that, you will have very high ROI. But most importantly, we're a very strategic solution for enterprises because with ZAPTEST, you'll be able to automate any application, UI, API, and cross-platform. You'll be able to meet any development schedule, either agile, waterfall, or anything in the mix. And anyone in your organization be able to use ZAPTEST either through no-code or scripted workflow. But most importantly, we know it for being a very high efficiency automation solution. With that, I want to invite you to look at the demo of ZAPTEST, and then I'm going to walk you through onboarding and how you can use the ZAPTEST solution.
ZAPTEST is designed to support automation of any testing process, agile, waterfall, or any other software application development testing. There are four main approaches to use ZAPTEST. Automate against live application under test. Automate against the application UI mockups. Automate against a recorded video scenario, or automate against an application's API layer. Our first approach is against a live application under test. In this example, we will use the industry common approach of developing test automation using a live application. To do this, we are going to use the Scan GUI functionality within ZAPTEST and select the interface of the opened application under test. As you can see, ZAPTEST scanned the UI and created a view with the scanned objects. At this point, we can select the desired objects that we need for automation and delete the rest. Once we have all the desired objects, we are going to create a script to perform the end user steps. ZAPTEST offers scriptless test development approach for beginners, as well as scripted approach for advanced users, who may choose VB script or JavaScript for writing their code. Once the script is ready, we will execute it and review the results. In our second example, we will create a test script using application mockups. This approach is useful to advance test automation readiness and is generally used to support testing for agile development. To create a script using mockups, we will follow a process similar to the previous example. But instead of scanning a live application, we will be scanning a mockup. As a result of each scan, we are getting a new view in the GUI map with all objects present. At this point, we will be following the exact same steps as in the live application example, and will create a script using the desired objects that we collected from our mockups. Once the script is ready, we will add one more step to invoke the application under test. Then we will execute the script and review the results. Our third approach is to automate testing with ZAPTEST using a recorded video scenario. This approach is useful to support the waterfall development process, or any process that requires collaboration and knowledge transfer between application subject matter experts and test automation specialists. To create the script, we will follow the steps as a subject matter expert and record the video scenario by using the ZAPTEST screen recorder. To do this, we will navigate to the Recorder tab on ZAPTEST and click on the Record button. As you can see, ZAPTEST invokes the Recorder toolbar to control the recording process. To record the scenario, we simply need to manually perform the end-user steps following the test case and stop the recording. Once the recording is finished, ZAPTEST creates a full recorded video and auto-generates application views. At this point, we will begin acting as a test automation specialist and will develop the script using the recorded video. Using any video frame, we can create additional views if needed. Once we have all the views, we will click the Generate Views button in the upper left corner of the scenario pane. As you can see, ZAPTEST generates a list of test objects and displays them in GUI map. Now we can create and execute a test script using a process similar to the previous examples. As in our first two examples, you can see the results after the script has been executed. Our last approach is to use the ZAPTEST API functionality to test SOAP or REST services. Web service testing steps can be combined with regular UI testing. In ZAPTEST, we will use API Explorer to define a server object. All available API methods are loaded from the WSDL file. We will select a method from the list and use the API Studio to customize the request attributes and define validation points. In this example, we will use a combination of API and UI steps to get our company name value and use it for a Google search. We will run the test and review the results. In addition, we can use the ZAPTEST doc functionality to auto-generate test documentation coverage of any given test script in any of the testing approaches that we've seen here. To generate the documentation, we need to click the Generate button located in the doc module. The doc module provides controls to edit the generated documentation, to save it to a file under various file formats, or to export it to any of the supported test management systems. Any test script developed using any testing approach can be used in ZAPTEST for parallel execution. To do this, we will navigate to the mRun tab. Connect to all the devices that need to be part of the testing effort, and click on the Run button. ZAPTEST uses the multi-runs mode to execute the same test on all connected devices in parallel. After the parallel test run is complete, we will open the test report and review the execution results for each device. ZAPTEST is proud to present new load testing technology. The load component extends ZAPTEST functionality to enable performance testing of a server infrastructure. Now, ZAPTEST users can utilize the same API-based scripts for both functional and performance testing. A test script can be created either manually or via a recording process. Manual test script creation uses traditional API development utilities, API Explorer, and API Studio. This approach primarily applies to testing SOAP and REST web services, when users can obtain all required details from a web service provider. Alternatively, test scripts can be generated automatically by capturing and processing clients' communication. ZAPTEST provides the API proxy recording tool to record live traffic during users' interaction with a browser or any other client application that uses HTTP protocol. Users can configure filters to log only desired requests and define transactions to group logical steps during a recording session. Once the recording is complete, the recorded request can be analyzed and filtered in the Editor tool. Users can select which requests will be added as test steps or defined as API objects. Auto-generated test scripts can be further enhanced with input data parameterization, dynamic values correlation, and rich logic. ZAPTEST handles web session authentication automatically. Any additional correlation can be done with the help of the Correlation Manager tool. Using this tool, users can define correlation rules that will be automatically applied during script generation. Once the test scripts are ready, they can be used in a load testing scenario. The load is generated by running multiple concurrent virtual users. The load can be scaled up by using distributed load generating capacity. Users can define various load parameters, configure behavior of a user group, enable SLA settings for pass-fail criteria, control parameterized test data distribution, include multiple test scripts and remote generators for complex frameworks, and monitor performance statistics live. Comprehensive test results include data and graphs that help to reveal weak points in the system under test. As you can see, ZAPTEST can support any test automation development process that uses Agile, Waterfall, or any other software application development testing by automating against live application, mockups, video scenarios, or API components. Please navigate to ZAPTEST.com and start your test automation today.
Thank you for staying with us through the demo. Hope you like what you saw. at this point, I want to walk you through onboarding. How can we onboard ZAPTEST? So we deliver a ZAPTEST enterprise solution through software and services model. And that model includes one of our ZAP experts as a full-time consultant working with your team remotely. Mission of our certified ZAP expert is to perform daily automation with ZAPTEST along with your team, and they can act as a product coaches and the support resource for entire organization. With that, we're giving your company unlimited use of ZAPTEST software for everybody to use. So you can easily plan and strategize automation across the board for everybody. That may include also quality assurance group, development group, business analysts, and anyone that your management would like to include in the automation process. So the main value proposition pointers here in using ZAPTEST as a software and onboarding through software and services model is the fact that you have any task software automation. There are never going to be a case when you have to push back on the automation due to the fact that your tool cannot automate something. As you understand, ZAPTEST can automate any digital interface and do it fast. Another pointer, it's a fixed budget expenditure. You're never going to worry about running short on licenses and the last minute demand for extra funds to purchase additional software. You can easily forecast your expense of software ahead of the year. And last but not least, very important point, it's a certified implementation help. If you're going to grow your automation practice, if you're going to open new project or going to do reworks, we guarantee that at least one of ZAP experts is going to remain aboard and continue automation with ZAPTEST and be able to expedite knowledge transfer to others who are going to come and join them. With that, I want to thank you for staying throughout our presentation, and I want to encourage you to reach out after the presentation to schedule product demos to look at how ZAPTEST can help you. And I want to open for Q&A session. Thank you very much.